I met a gypsy.
This is a special place, just, even emotionally for us, some of the things that we've conquered out here. So when we're working, like, there's gems out there already for next year. Every year, I'm telling on myself, they'll probably see it now, but every year that we've got done, I take his pit bike, and when everyone else is up celebrating and drinking beers, I'm riding the course. I did it last year. I find a high spot and I start putting things together, and then reimaginating and then he starts sending me stuff and we start chatting and we just pick up from there. So it's just constant evolution, constant change. What can we do better? I feel like every year that we've come here, we've been better, because, like, on my side of things, of course the course is the ultimate, or the pinnacle of our challenge or week or weeks, I should say. But even the infrastructure, what we've done this year, it was very important for Tyler and I. We wanted the live crowd to have the best experience possible. So we put that VIP deck literally in the middle of the course.
Yeah.
These guys are going to be,
jumping over the
crowd. And even with the GA audience, we've got the big 140 down there. And when they see him tune up and hear that thing click third gear and he just barrels off that thing, like, it's so all the feelings that we've been able to, provide to the people through the years, just that the excitement, the awe, just like so many like positive feelings that people leave here going, man, I've never felt that before.
Yeah.
We want to share that with the live crowd. So it's all of those things that we put into it. It's not an accident that it's been this successful.
Yeah, and I think from like a logistical standpoint too, I mean, what you guys have done here is pretty unprecedented. I mean, we're on the landing yesterday, and you're saying there's 3 supercross tracks in this one landing. It's like just the level at which you guys have had to grind to make this place happen. I mean, it was literally a blank canvas 4 years ago. And, to see where it is now, I think even just logistically to pull it off, it's just insane, the amount of machinery that you guys need, the amount of dirt that you move, and especially year on year too, the way that it changes.
Yeah, you're right. And it's, of course, Jason Baker is the face of Dream Tracks in my company, but man, the team that I have supporting me are the best guys in the world for me. There's great operators out there. I'm not slighting anyone. I know there's great operators and a lot of proud operators, but the team that I have assembled to do this, they are every bit as passionate about it as Tyler and myself are. And there's a camaraderie. I mean, even between all the other riders, not just Tyler, but that level of respect, the level of trust. Every one of my guys are just as passionate as I am, and we're all checking each other. Like, and when I say that, like, no one is like, I'm not just the final say. Like, if I've done something and they go, hey Jay, this looks like it's got a knuckle or a this or that, like, there's no pride. The pride is success.
Yeah.
That comes.
It's like a team pride.
It's a team pride that, hey, we've done the absolute best. So like, if someone sees something that needs to be fixed, we just fix it. It's just that way. So that's just the whole team atmosphere, all of that energy, everyone being on the same page. That's what allows us to keep pushing these limits and be successful in the way that we have been.
Yeah, and you weren't on earlier, but I spoke to this, but you and your whole crew, the amount of trust that I have in, Jason Baker being the face of Dream Tracks, but his whole crew and the communication that we have between each other. Like, I trust these guys with my life, and I would like to think that our riding as a group here of all the athletes brings out their best building, and vice versa. Their building brings out the best riding in all these athletes. Like, we mentioned this earlier with Vicki, like, we can go out and a session with the crew in the hills, and like, no one really gets to see that, but like, the fact that your building brings out, we step it outside of our comfort zones and face this all together, it brings I'm leaning on my team, and the team that I've built with Jason, and that relationship is like something that you can't really put into words, and it's really just something special that was something that we've created, and we are just scratching the surface with this thing. If you could hear me and this guy's 3 a.m. conversations when we're traveling and like we just can't shut our brains off on ideas and things for this event, it goes on and on and on and on, and that's the beauty of it. Imagination is creation, and if you don't have that creation mindset without it to build that imagination, then there's nothing. So like there's no blueprint for us. We literally get together, we start, have a say that course out there, the course is 10 square acres, give or take, like don't know the number, but you pick a couple key features that you want to change and move and start with, and then once that starts coming with the 3 supercross tracks and 1 landing, then all of a sudden you have 30 options to 1 jump. You know, things just start, your own imagination starts growing, building, and speaking to you in a sense of when these guys are out there building, that it just comes to you. And that's case in point, the way you see out there in that course this year. It's it's super funny. We've been saying this all week, but if BMX dirt had diarrhea and the diarrhea hardened on the ground as a skate park for dirt bikes, welcome to Red Bull Imagination, baby. So what we've created out there, and the way that we've talked, and I guess going back to like last year where we, you know, it's individual runs with it's me versus you, right? So we have all these runs, and it kind of puts the riders and the athletes back in a box. We're free riders because we were tired of being in the box of racing or freestyle or whatever it may be. That contest day more or less put us back in a box. It's me versus you. So last year I had a line that I wanted to do, and I accomplished this line. Same with Axel in 35-mile-an-hour crosswinds. Like,
that was wild.
Axel got 1 point on me, and he took the lead after the first run, and I completed the run that I had in my head. And I don't do tricks. Simplicity is key for me, and that's what's gotten me to where I am. So I don't feel like I have to do that to stand out. So I completed this line in my head, and that I had set out to do. I accomplished it. So then after that, I kind of basically, going into the second run that we had, I said, good job, Axel. Like, you crushed it. You beat me. But let's go take this second run together. And go put on a show for the people that are here, and pick the jumps that we can hit based on the wind direction and what is capable with what we're given. And that just sparked such an idea for me of like, that Thursday night when I hit the big jump, being able to bottle that feeling and what free riding truly embodies is something special to me. And the fact that we were able to do that, me and Axel together, it's more, in my eyes, a proof of concept for myself of the way I see this thing going. And it doesn't, free riding is not a contest. Like, the best riding and all this stuff comes from us feeding off of each other and pushing each other to progress each other and face each other's fears. And it's a friends or family. We are a big family here, and we're pushing each other to get over these obstacles that are scaring us. There's something to be said about facing your fears every day. So the fact that me and Axel were able to do that, and that was a proof of concept to prove to myself, like light bulbs go off in your head, like, ooh, we're on to something here. And then this year, going into this event and having still, you know, the ESPN show, and having to make it make sense to the average Joe sitting on the couch that happens to stumble upon an ESPN show of Red Bull Imagination. Like, Red Bull Imagination, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? But how to tell this story, tell our story of what we're trying to get across, of what makes a free rider and all these categories and all these things. It's just something really cool that we've worked as a massive team, and we've leaned on our team together to basically bring our role all to the table, to then create something really cool and unique. And the fact that we've done this team vibe this year, like, I'm going to be honest, going into this year with all these talks of these changes, it was very stressful on me because I hadn't seen the course. There was no blueprint for the course. I'm trying to be able to mentally wrap my head around how do we tell this story of all these different categories and so many more moving parts. It's to the point of if it's an individual run and a contest run or a skate park run, whatever you want to call it, through the course, that's a little more easier to tell that story. Like, you have this course, go put your
people
line
are like
together.
used to it. Yeah.
And now it's on us to be able to tell the story of what free riding means to us. And the fact that going into it, I was stressed out, to say the least, a little bit. Like, how do we tell this story? And then now, once fast forward here this week, and we get here and we implement all these changes, and everyone responded to it so freaking well. It was insane, and everybody took their role and know what they could bring to the table for their team, and everybody's took that and ran with it. And the vibe that we get all week, we're now taking into Saturday, which was our goal, and everyone has their role and can know what they can do to bring to the table, to have the bragging rights to beat your other team, respect the team. But no one loses in this whole situation. Like I said earlier, we all win by being able to ride this masterpiece that the Dream Tracks crew has created. So far it's been insane. My stress levels have gone down on how we can tell this story because it's naturally unfolding and telling itself. And the way that we got here and the way that this has gone has exceeded any of my intentions to it all, and we're going into Saturday fired up. No one's beat down, bruised and battered and stressed out because now we got to remember the line that we're going to put down on this course. We get to go compete against each other, the other team, but together to bring our strengths to our respective teams, which is really, really cool format. And to top all that off, we get to do the contest on the contest side, and the old K-Dubs Kingdom side is now a whole separate course. And I'm speaking for me and him here. The nuts and bolts for this whole thing is that side for me and him. Like, we can basically show that as our proof of concept of how we see it. The freestyle shows and all these things that are happening now. Like, how can you not have a free ride demo to bottle those feelings of watching us hit jumps for the first time and like being scared and overcoming your fears like that? If you could bottle that up and distribute it to the world, like, that's it. That's the nuts and bolts right there. And you don't have to have a contest on it. We all win together. You know what I mean? So we're just scratching the surface with this thing, and I think we're on to something, and we're just getting started. I can tell you that.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.